I finally approached the skyline as the rising sun cast peach-colored light over its buildings. It was the same city I had lived in for 10 years, but this was not the Manhattan I knew. This rock island had transformed, boasting expansive, undulating buildings illuminated by crisscrossing filaments and connected by a series of skywalks. Hive-like apartment buildings surrounded its eastern edge, while swaths of brown and grey industrial wasteland yawned west of the Hudson River. Inside the cream and chrome jungle, floating lights moved on their own accord, intuiting where shadows lay. I recognized a few familiar old buildings. St. Patrick's Cathedral stuck out like a dusty brooch on a cream tuxedo, looming like a monument to a city long gone. If this new Manhattan was a bright garment of the future, its surroundings were frayed fabrics of the past. Beyond the strange honeycomb apartments that bordered the city center, a hodgepodge of old and new spread throughout the boroughs. Vacant warehouses and old apartment complexes clashed with the occasional creamy white oblong structures clearly built post-disaster. I left the scientists' quarters and glided up Fifth Avenue toward the old St. Patrick's Cathedral, home to the sanctum. I felt like I was walking into the setting of a Gothic carnival. Utopian's typical airy beige buildings gave way to black brick facades and shining onyx sculptures. The hovering street lamps, usually bright white, were lit by dancing green flames. The 4 blocks surrounding the cathedral were pedestrian only and adorned with black bunting. The surrounding storefronts were shuttered and all theatrical in nature. There was a milliner's shop, a feather specialist, an armorer, a dyer, a maker of non-metal prosthetics and props, and a mask specialist with a great goat's head looming from its storefront. There was no one around. I approached the cathedral doors and, dear reader, I am ashamed to say that I did not enter. I caught the sound of a high-pitched whine, like a straining tea kettle or magic under duress. If what Harrison said was true about Eve, the sound was of a god-mass suffering in captivity. Though I trust my dark grandmother with my life, I do not trust her to be one step ahead of Eve. What if I, too, could be trapped like the gods? No, thank you. We will have to take Harrison at his word. I lingered on those steps, waiting for some variation in the chilling sound. Eventually, a man with a round, boyish face and neat brown hair strutted by, talking loudly into his earpiece about importing a case of scotch from some cousins across the pond, how they needed at least 4 months to orchestrate the trade and safely ship the goods. Every once in a while, he lingered outside a storefront and tapped his temple as though making a note. I recognized this man as one of the official-looking visitors to Harrison's apartment, Councilman Eli Buckingham. I shadowed Eli as he made his way out of the ghost town to the busy, bright buildings of Praxis Center, ascending a silent elevator to an airy penthouse office overlooking the sanctum. Eli was a festival curator, and his office provided loads of context.